Hey y'all, this is Sarah. I hope everybody's doing good. I had some of you guys ask me if I could do this video for you really quick, um, which I find hysterical because we all know that I can't do any videos really quick, but I'm gonna try. So you wanted me to do a walkthrough of my painting trays, and I've got them pulled out. I went ahead and they're clean for today because I'm getting ready to start doing some crafting, but I wanted to show you my little convenient setup that I use for me. This is not necessary. You really only have to stick with the supplies that I show in the supply video. This is just, I am an organized person doing a craft that is very messy, so I had to find a way to feel good about diving into that mess, and this was kind of my way. So you can see starting out that I've got everything sealed off in a disposable zipper bag. My bags are 12 3/4 by 14. I'm not sure what that equates to, but I have them labeled. I have two colors set up because these are the two colors that I tend to use the most. These are the ones I'm most active with. So I just have them set up that way. I'm going to pull them out and kind of give you guys a run through. And I want to give you a few tips. Some of you would ask me how I handle my sponges. Am I washing them every time I use them? That kind of thing. So I want to run through all of those things at once. Okay, so let me start with the paint trays themselves. These came from Dollar Tree. These are, they are 9 3/4 by 9 3/4. So whatever zipper bag that you're going to be hunting for, you should be able to fit that size. I really like these trays for a couple of reasons. One, the dividers allow me to put my paints in here and I can reach over with my sponge, hit in that paint, and not have to worry about sliding that thing all the way across my desk. So I like that it kind of traps them in that one location. The cups, the reason that I'm doing that, and I'll show you really quickly. The products that I recommend are all really thick products because I keep saying that moisture is not our friend. So I choose the chalk paints over acrylics because they're a really watery paint. The acrylics are. The chalk paint, I want to show you this. So this is a chalk paint product by Waverly. This is the color ink. You can see that that is almost a gel-like consistency. So the reason I do the cups with this is pouring that can turn into a real mess. It can kind of blob out on you and waste your product. It's really hard once you've poured it onto a paper plate to get it back in the bottle. If you want to stop and go finish one of your chores and come back to it, you risk with a paper plate, you're going to have to cover it or something to make sure that your paint doesn't dry out. With this, I can just pop the lids back on, go do what I got to do, and then come back. I can store it the same way. I'm not trying to get paint back in the bottle. And if you notice, I do my color and then the clear wax and my color and the clear wax. The reason I do that is because, and I've got my sponges mixed up here. When I go to dip my sponge in, and let's say I want to mix it with some of that clear wax, there's definitely going to be a transfer. But I don't eventually, like I don't want to cross these colors too much because the black mixed in can definitely change the look. The brown mixed in can change the look. So if I'm going to end up mixing that anyway, I'd rather have it pertain to that one color and that one color. So that's why I do it that way. These are just disposable condiment cups. This was a recycle thing for me at the beginning, but I am going to show you some options if you don't have any to wash out and use. Dollar Tree actually carries some of the disposable ones like this. They have a 10-pack of the disposable cups with lids. Walmart also carries them in a 50-count pack for $2.97. And then Dollar Tree has these options, which are a more permanent solution. These can crack when you wash them out, so be careful. These are a little more durable. They're very easy to clean and wash out. I have these to replace these when I can no longer keep using these. If I eventually crack the lids down, I'm going to move on to the other ones. But that's kind of why I have the little cups of paint and why I don't just pour it out and all that. Next, it has a spot for my little makeup wedges. I love these things. I use them for all of my shading and softer kind of touch-ups. So it gives me a little space for that. It gives me a space for my brushes. These are the Dollar Tree chip brushes. And on my brush care, and you can see I've had these quite a while. So I don't wash them every single time either. I will usually take a paper towel or one of my painting rags, and I wipe really thoroughly all the wet paint off of it so that it's not saturated. But then I put it back in my tray and I put it away with everything else. Now, I want to give you a really quick tip, and this works for more than just this project or product and just these brushes. So, if I accidentally forgot and this got too dry and hardened and really stiff, I got these little wire brushes from the tool aisle at Dollar Tree, and they are amazing at scraping through there, getting the hard chunks of paint out of there so that those bristles are exposed a little better. So then you can wash them in your hot water and get them kind of revived if you've let it go a little too far. I will wash these every so often as necessary. When they stop giving me the results that I want in my graining, I'm usually, okay, let me scrub them out, let me clean them off. So with my sponges, it's a little bit of the same. I put this all in the zipper bags because I want to keep my sponges loaded. I like to have them still slightly saturated. I look at it like using an ink pad with stamping and that kind of thing. You want your ink pad to be really juicy. So that's kind of how I leave mine. If I was to rub this across my hand hard enough, it's going to leave some color behind. There's a couple reasons why I do it that way. One, you'll find that it applies your paint nicer once it's already been kind of broken in. So your coverage is a little cleaner, a little nicer, a little more predictable. Also, if your sponge is washed, dried, and cleaned and all of that every single time you go to use it, when you dip into your product, this sponge is going to continually soak that product in until it's full, and then it starts really applying your paint. This one is already, all of those fibers have already been saturated. It's not going to keep eating your paint and sucking it in. It's going to just start applying it. So that helps. Now, getting to the reason that I have these set up like this, you see I have two for each color. One is what I use as my regular applicator that I do my boards with. Now, if I over apply or I want to get a feathered out look or a dry brush look or anything to that effect, I go in with this drier one, pull back some of my paint, that kind of thing. Well, over time, this will get saturated and it will no longer be useful for kind of dry brushing. It'll go over to here once these are kind of at the end of their lifetime. So I kind of rotate those over. Now, these, they will start to harden. They will get kind of crunchy. If you leave them out too long, and a product buildup will cause that also with enough use. So what I do is I wash them really well. I trim down any part that is degrading on me, any part that's breaking down. I want a nice flat surface. When you start getting sponges that are in this condition, they are not going to leave that graining surface that you really want. Not only that, but when it gets down this small, to get a good grip on it is really difficult. So you end up with more streaky looking boards. Whereas I will trim this down until it no longer holds tight as a tool for me. But I only have to do that every couple weeks. I wash them up, trim them down. I'm good to go again until I just get to a stage where it's too small for me. Then I pull this one over and I'll add a new fresh one. And that really works out for me, but I'm doing this in mass quantity these days. You know, I'm testing colors constantly. I'm testing different crafts constantly. I'm playing with different crafts of my very own. So I'm doing this very frequently. For some of you guys, this may not be necessary, but some of you guys that are like me, where you kind of want to be organized while you're in the middle of a messy craft, this is a great setup. If this doesn't feel like something that's going to work for you, I would suggest popping on over to the Peppermint Cactus Facebook group. Ask the crafters there, what what's working for you. Just because it works for me and I have a lot of success with it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fit how you want to use it. That is especially so with things like your choice of cutters. I know a lot of people do like the box cutters and the craft blades. I do not work well with those. I really don't. I get my best results, you guys see, with my razor blade. But other people will come on and say, okay, maybe not this craft blade, but this one has given me success. Those are things, those are opinions that are, you know, really great to have when you're trying to decide which products are going to work for you. So come check that out. There's a couple other reasons to join over there. It's an amazing group. Like, I just have to be biased on this. It's an amazing group. They're super helpful, very, very creative, and post some really inspiring things. I think it's a great source of information. It's a great source of inspiration, and it's a great source of community. It's a super group. I mean, I know it's really biased, but it's worth checking out. And right now there's a perk to going over there and checking it out. There is a giveaway. I put together a beginner's kit that I'm going to give a couple of those away in the next couple weeks, just as a way to say thank you guys for all your support, being so encouraging, sticking by me while I get kind of the hang of this and get my bearing and, you know, build up my sea legs here. And I wanted to give back to that because it's really great to find support in something that you enjoy doing. And I wanted to be able to give back and say thank you. It's not a lot. It's not sponsored. This is just something from me saying, you guys are awesome. And I know it's hard to find these things in some areas still. And I wanted to be able to at least help one or two people here and there while I could. I will say that we should be seeing it get a little easier to start finding these products. They were not in production at one point during this year, so we were running out of product. The last I spoke to them, they were back in production and beginning to ship to retailers. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Things are always steadily changing, but for now, it looks like we're on a good path to being able to find these a lot easier. But if you can't, join over with us on the group page. It's the Peppermint Cactus also. Sign up for that. It's all it is just a little post, and we'll pull a random winner on Friday, July 24th. I'll do one of the little apps that just randomly picks someone, and hopefully it'll brighten somebody's day. And I kind of look forward to being able to do that again for a few more people that I can. And I will be getting to crafting today. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that now that all of this was clean. I can get started and make a mess. If you have any questions, ask over there. They definitely will get you answers. I will try to get answers below where I can. And have fun crafting, guys. I am looking forward to this week of crafting. I've got so many ideas reeling through my head that I don't have enough arms to craft them. And I hope you don't mind when I share them, because I still am very excited about this craft. And I hope you guys are too. So I'll be talking to you soon and showing you how to make some pretty things and get messy. Bye, guys.